Said in my journey through the world, over land and over sea, I see different cultures and different people's ways. I was born where the sun never sets and never rises. I was born where the heat is like a second skin.
A very beautiful afternoon to you right here in the city of Ibadan. I hope you're having an eventful day wherever you're listening to this great radio dial. Great radio dial in the city of Ibadan. This is Honor 103.5 FM. And the program you're listening to now is Transport and Tourism Express. Just before now, I was playing you a song from beautiful Nubia, Seven Lives, talking about African culture and talking about travels. Basically, the program again is Transport and Tourism Express, and I hope you are ready for us again today, just like we do every week when it's past 2 from the hours of 2:10 to 3 o'clock. My name is Victor Oyejide and I'm your captain on the MIC today. And on this program, we get to look at the issues of public importance in the transport and tourism sector. And you know, when we say transport, talking about the various modes of transportation, land, on the land where we have road and rail sector, water, having both the inland waterways, the maritime sector, the air transport also not neglected. And when we talk tourism, we look at both the inbound and the outbound tourism. All these on Honor 103.5 FM on the program Transport and Tourism. Real life situations that affect real people like you and I. And during the program, we first get to look at some of the major trending news or activities that have happened in the course of the last 1 week during the program. On the program, then we get to speak with our guest. Today on the program, our special focus is on tourism. We'll really be looking at cultural festivals. We'll be touching on cultural festivals, cultural heritage, and some of the festivals that has happened, especially in the light of the recent concluded by the Cultural Week, the World Egungun Festival also that recently happened in Oyo State. And on the program today, my guest is a videographer, a content creator, one very distinguished personality, Ayo Adams. But right before I go deep into the program speaking with my guest, I'd like to take you through some of the major trending news in the sector, in the tourism and transport sector within the last 1 week. Keep it locked down. This is still Honor 103.5 FM.
Said in my journey through the world, over land and over sea, I see different cultures and different people's ways. I was born where the sun never sets and never rises. I was born where the heat is like a second skin.
Welcoming you back from that short musical break. You're still listening to Honor 103.5 FM. And just like I told you earlier, we'll be taking you through some of the major news in the tourism and transport sector, especially within the last 1 week. Let me also inform you that we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Honor103.5 FM. You have the opportunity to contribute live on the program, sharing your thoughts and your opinion. That's why the program is Transport and Tourism Express. You have the opportunity to express your opinion. All right, so that being said, let me quickly move through some of the major news in this sector. First, let me start from the pay setter state, Oyo State, where the Oyo State House of Assembly is seeking more security measures in hospitality establishments across the state. And the state is moving, the House of Assembly moves for consideration of amendment of the Oyo State Hospitality and Tourism Law 2020. So the Oyo State, the news goes thus that the Oyo State House of Assembly has urged the executive arm of government to implement a standardized guest registration process that includes valid identification verification and the maintenance of up-to-date guest logs accessible to authorized personnel into hotels and guest houses across the state. So this was discussed at its plenary. Last week Tuesday as part of his effort to see that operations of hotels standardized in the states. This motion was actually moved uh, during plenary by the lawmaker representing Oliole Estate, Oliole constituency, talking about Honorable Wahid Akintayo, revealing that hotels are increasingly being used by fraudsters, commonly known as Yahoo Boys. Honorable Akintayo also noted that the significant number of hotels and guest houses in Ibadan and across Oyo State are not duly registered with the government. Therefore, this lack of adequate registration has made it difficult for regulatory agencies to track establishments in operation, enforce security standards, and ensure compliance with necessary regulations. So really beautiful message there, beautiful motion there, sincerely, because this is one of the things we need to be able to provide checks and balance for hotels and hoteliers in Oyo State. The hospitality sector really needs to be checked. If you are registered in the state, if you are operating in the state, I want to believe there are associations, there are body guiding them, but for you to be registered, there are expected amounts that needs to be remitted to the government. You need to also be registered with the government. But beyond that, there should be a level of check and balance to their operations, especially as you have high cases of kidnapping, high cases of use of these places for other activities beyond just sleeping, resting, and coming in for vacation by some individuals. But you know, beyond that, we've had cases of hotels being used for various purposes in Nigeria. And as usual, I have my guest also in the studio today talking about Rufus Osunsami, who contributes to some of these news. Rufus, good to have you on the program again today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Good to have you on the program today. All right. So what would you say to these news of standardization for hotel operation in Nigeria, looking at some of the previous scenarios that has happened around the use of hotels for other activities?
Okay, I think there are policies that need to be put in place to guide all these activities. Looking at how, hotels are being used and how, ungathered they are. So there are policies that need, just like every other sector, there are policies that need to be put in place so that there can be proper monitoring of every activities.
You know, now they mentioned hotels, I get to now look at some of these guest houses, some of these Airbnbs, some of these locations that they use for short lets. You know, houses that live around some of these places, you see people rent them for a day or two, and you start hearing noise, holding house parties. That's really, these are scenarios that have happened before. And we've also had scenarios of, I think, an Oba in Osun State, that someone was buried in Ife.
Yeah.
So I think we do not want this to happen in Oyo State.
So the thing is, I think what the government need to put in place first is that all these places need to be registered. Yeah, I understand how all this Airbnb works, but beyond that, I think if each of these shortlets, guest houses are registered, and at every point in time, government knows how the activities are being run, then we can avoid a lot of mismanagement and criminal activities that might want to occur.
All right, thank you. So following that motion, the House has directed the Standing Committee on Security and Strategies and its counterpart from Culture and Tourism to engage all relevant stakeholders, including the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the Oyo State Hotel Owner Association, to deliberate on the measures to put in place in curbing the menace of insecurity in hotels and guest house across the state. So moving on from there to another news, talking about the operation of the Joint Tax Board and the Federal Road Safety Corps, where they're stating that now prices of there's going to be an adjustment to prices for motor vehicles and motorcycle number plates and driver license across Nigeria, and these new price adjustments will be effective from Sunday 8th of June 2025. This announcement by the Joint Tax Board, being the apex body for Revenue Authority in Nigeria, is urging affected members of the public to take note of this new price and implore relevant government agencies and motor vehicle license authority to comply with the price adjustment. So the new approved price for motor vehicles and motorcycle number plates and driver's license as approved as follows. For the 3 years for motor vehicle driver's license now be 15,000 naira. The 5 years would now be 21,000, and 3 years for tricycle and motorcycle driver's license will be 7,000 naira, and for 5 years will be 11,000 naira going forward. And the number plates, the standard private vehicle number plates will now be 30,000 naira, and for private and for commercial also 30,000. Quite a number of things that the government has stated, but this price adjustment will be starting from the 8th of June, and this price adjustment is due to the introduction of enhanced security features in the number plate and driver's license, and the incidental increase in production cost. So yeah, the federal government has stated clearly now through the Joint Tax Board and the Federal Road Safety Code that there will be an increase and the price adjustment for your number plates and the driver's license. And like they stated, the price adjustment applies nationwide, and you can easily apply on their website and don't pay more than is expected to any individual or pay directly to the government quarters. And with this, I'll be cutting on the news within the transport and tourism sector for us to be able to speak to our guest who is in the studio already with me today. Keep it locked down. This is still on 103.5 FM.
My father called me down behind the tree. He said, prostrate at my feet and say a few prayers. Then he told me all the stories of my brave ancestors. He said, look into my eyes, son, you were born to be great. So in the twilight I went home behind my father with hope, listening to the songs of birds, whispers of the night. I was singing, seven, hey, 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 hey.
Seven lives that one I love.
Over and over and over and over and brother and over and over and over. I'm an African child, Mother called me down into her heart. She said, lay upon my bosom and say a few prayers. Then she told me to go forward, never looking back. The spirits are with you, and you guys, you will never fail. So I go into the world, into the deeps, into the wild. In the marketplace I dance, the sound of bata dancing. 7 jumps, 7 wriggles, 7 carries, 7 knots, 7
Africa.
over and over and over and over mountains and in the wild.
I'll be brave and I'll be strong.
You want dance?
An African boy.
Welcoming you back from that short music break. You still listening to Honor 103.5 FM, and you just listened again to beautiful Nubia talking about 7 lives from beautiful Nubia. And in the studio today, I have a very distinguished gentleman who is my guest for today. Like I'd mentioned earlier on, our focus today is on tourism, talking about our cultural festivals and cultural heritage and festivals in Nigeria. I have a very distinguished gentleman who is well known as Ayo Adams. And Ayo Adams is your video editor, filmmaker, a documentary photographer, and someone who is so passionate about the tourism sector. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Victor. It is always good to speak to you.
Finally, we have you. I wish I have a bell now to bring and ring, because I know we've had extended invitation to you at some point, and chances, time and chance did not permit that for you. But finally, yeah, I'm glad Ayo Adams is in the studio with us. The very big, the magnificent Ayo Adams. Thank you for really joining us today. So let's really do it this way. Let's take a look at your journey in this space. I know you also as a radio presenter at some point, and you finding yourself in the tourism sector. I don't know what you studied. Perhaps you want, and you really promoting culture. How did you get into this space? And again, is Ayo Adams. The word Adams, part of your name. Is that your full name? Which tribe are you from? Let's really get to know you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Victor. And like I said earlier, it's so good to speak to you again.
Okay.
You know, my name is Oyejide.
Ayomide.
Yes. And my name is Abdul Fatai. Like my middle name is Abdul Fatai.
Okay.
And you know, Adams is from my father's name, his Muslim name. You know, he's Adam. Then you turn it to Adams.
Oh.
So I'm from Ibadan. And my tourism, my culture and tourism journey is one that is deeply rooted in my academic background.
Okay.
I studied theatre arts, performing arts and film studies now at the University of Ilorin, Kwara State. And during my time then, I did different
Performing arts.
performing and film studies.
Wow.
That's what it is currently called now at the University of Ilorin.
Up school.
Oh. Oh, were you in Ilorin?
No, let's just go ahead.
All right. So, you know, then we did a lot of different work. You do town and gown. Like, how does performance affect academic? How does cultural performance affect academic? You study all these things. You try to analyze it based on theories and principles. And then, away from that one, you know, we did a lot of literary criticism. And in doing all of these things, you still do some film criticism. At this point,
You look into films, see
exactly,
issues.
you know, at this point, you get to explore the social issues in film. You get to explore the economic and cultural impact of certain phenomenon in the society. So from there, I developed a very strong passion for storytelling, because theater is about storytelling.
Yes.
You want to put play on the stage.
And the act of storytelling is a big deal also.
Of course. So you want to put the play on the stage, you want to put it on screen. It is everything that comes together that makes sense. So I was trained as a stage director, and I was trained as a screen director. And after my graduation, I was unable to, let's say, maybe probably I was unable to get into any on any platform to start telling my story. So I just thought to myself, why don't give myself a platform? If they don't give you platform,
You create one for
Yeah,
yourself.
and
If
you
they
know-
don't give you the table, if they don't bring you to the table, you bring your own
you
table.
bring your own table, or you just go and join them on the table. Because if they don't bring the table to you, sometimes you just need to go and join them on the table. So from there, we formed a group.
A theater group?
No, we didn't form a theater group. We formed a tourism group
Okay.
when I was in Ibadan. After I came back from NYC and I was living in Ibadan, we formed this tourism group called the Tour Ibadan. And our objective with the other guys that we founded the group together was to make sure that tourism become affordable.
Affordability was your major
Yes,
selling
our
point.
goal was that we are going to make tourism affordable to people. We are going to take you to places on a budget. So we did a couple of places in Ibadan. We're planning with our friends, and after we did almost
And the turnout was encouraging.
Yes, we had very big turnout for each trips.
Wow.
A lot of people always ask us, when is the next one?
Wow.
I missed this one. When is the next one? So after that one, we started touring neighboring cities. So we moved from Ibadan. We went to Erin-Jesha. After
Wow.
Erin-Jesha, we traveled to Abeokuta.
Wow.
From Abeokuta, we were in
Several
Ideri.
locations
Yes.
that way.
Yeah, of course.
And you kept having the numbers joining you
And
for
you
that
know,
trip.
we're building up numbers and all of that. And it was from there, from tourism, that I started capturing pictures. You know,
Capturing moments for people.
of course, it was something that I had knowledge of from the university, because
Okay, so I need to go on a short commercial break now. And when I'm back, as much as we talk tourism, we'll also be touching on our cultural heritage and some of the festivals, especially as a distinguished man, Ayo Adams, play centrally within this tripod. Keep it locked down. This is still Honor 103.5 FM.
Lives that one I love.
Over and over and over and over and brother and over.
On the 103.5 FM.
lótìtọ́ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni gọ́níyà fíjì ìròyìn tó àmójúbà gbogbo aláfẹ́ ayé tó dé Subchem leading hotel and suites ló ń ròyìn wípé ìgbádùn sodo síbì kan ju bì kan lọ. Subchem leading hotel and suites, elegantly and centrally located in a secured and serene environment. Our facilities include cozy rooms and suites, spacious event and conference hall. Our restaurant serves delicious intercontinental and local cuisines, while our bar is stocked with all kinds of assorted drinks. Ní Subchem leading hotel and suites, iná wa kì í ṣẹ́jú nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ètò ààbò gbópọn falala lẹ́ẹ̀ma lo Wi-Fi ọ̀fẹ́ láì níkọ̀sẹ̀. There is also laundry service and fully equipped gym. Seeing the say is believing. Visit Subchem Hotel and Suites today at Plot 3, Mechanic Scheme, opposite New Garage, off Ijebu-Ode Expressway, Ibadan, Nigeria. Telephone 090-6466-7569 and 090-4821-8600. Subchem leading hotel and suites. In hospitality, we lead.
Let's go. This is your radio.
Unless we make broadcasting accountable, it is going to be very hard to change anything else for the better in our society. That is why all established and aspiring broadcasters are enjoined to join Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB, the only legally recognized professional body for broadcasters in Nigeria. Registered since 1994. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, ìjọba ti wá rọ̀ Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB lágbára láti issue operational license fún gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú ìtọ̀sẹ̀ tó tọ́. SMB has successfully gone through all the different stages of becoming law. Àjẹpẹ́ fún ẹnikẹ́ni láti rẹ́sẹ̀ walẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó ní láti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB. Join now and be glad you did. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti dọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB, ẹ pè alábòjútó National Coordinator Dr. Yemisi Bangbose lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 0803-331-5256, or better still visit www.smb.com.ng. Be fulfilled as a broadcaster. Join SMB. òótọ́ lọ̀rọ̀ àgbà tó sọ pé ẹni tí ò tí ì nílé lórí àṣírí ò tí ì bò láti wá ra lẹ̀ kọ́lé ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀. Royal Homes and Gardens Estate làwọn tó mọyì wúrà ń rọ́ lọ báyìí. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, at Royal Homes and Gardens Estate Ìdó, there are better opportunities for you to achieve your aim of owning your own property without tears. Ìdó and its environs is a fast developing community in Oyo State. That is why you are enjoined to come and secure your own plot of land at 800,000 naira outright payment and 900,000 naira flexible payments. Ilẹ̀ wa pójú owó 500 square meter ní àǹfààní san díẹ̀díẹ̀ 45,000 naira lóṣooṣù, 9,000 naira lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ tàbí 1,800 naira lójoojúmọ́. Before 900,000 naira pé nìyẹn o. Now limited plots are available láti jẹ́ alábàápín ní Royal Homes and Gardens Estate. Kàn sí Higher Life Properties Consult Limited ní Flat 1 Higher Life Building opposite First Bank, Onílé-Aró bus stop, Ọjọ́, Ìbàdàn, or call 0803-368-4300 or 0813-908-0903. ní Royal Homes and Gardens wà donílẹ̀.
On the 103.5 FM.
This is Transport and Tourism Express with your captain, Victor Oyejide. Only on Honor 103.5 FM, Ibadan.
Welcoming you back from that musical and commercial break. This is still Honor 103.5 FM, and just in case you're just joining us on the program today, we're looking at cultural heritage and festivals towards a promotion of tourism in Oyo State. And I have a videographer, a content creator, someone who promotes tourism in Oyo State, talking about Ayo Adams in the studio. So let me also inform you that you have the opportunity to watch us live on Facebook, facebook.com/honor103.5 FM. Catch us live and you have the opportunity to ask your questions from there. Moving on quickly, Ayo, you as someone, as a youth who is playing a major role in tourism, let's look into our cultural heritage. We see a lot of youth trying to pull back from cultural heritage and the festival related. And why did I say this? You know, we get to associate some of these things to being devilish, being satanic. Today now, for example, when people say in the Yoruba language, we say Eshu. People say Eshu is Satan. When we talk about Sango, we see Christians and Muslims trying not to associate with it. What's your thoughts on this? What's your perspective to this?
First of all, I am going to pick it up from the issue conversation. You know, there have been different conversations still going on, and there have also been sensitization programs across places where people who worship Eshu reside. And the first thing they say to you is, Eshu is not Satan.
You also believe Eshu is not Satan?
Eshu is not the direct... Satan is not the direct translation for Eshu. Eshu is not Satan. You know, some of our primordial forces, they do not have direct English translation. Eshu is a trickster.
A trickster.
You know, it's a trickster, but you do not get to be tricked by a trickster unless someone, you know, go to them. And then Eshu is also an intermediary between someone who has come to meet a god and the god. If you have read Eshu and the Vagabond Mistress by Femi Oshofiso, he spoke very extensively. He spoke extensively about Eshu, who Eshu is, and what Eshu does between the gods, the small gods,
an intermediary.
Let's say small gods, but àwọn òrìṣà no man pe say láàrin àwọn òrìṣà àtàwọn tó fẹ́ lọ bá àwọn òrìṣà. So Eshu does not, you have to go.
So there's really nothing to be afraid of when it comes to
these days. When people say there are people that youths are moving backward from culture, I don't think that it's entirely true. Because if people are moving back from culture, look at Oyejide, for example, and have you seen the frenzy on social media? Anytime Oyejide comes,
the level of the packaging that comes into it
exactly. So a lot of youths, it is this time now that there is a renaissance about our culture. A lot of people are coming back to embrace the culture.
Okay.
And this is because Africans are now telling their own stories.
Themselves, the right way.
You know, Nigerians are telling their stories, Yoruba people are telling their stories, Igbo, Hausa, everyone is telling.
Well, the truth is, if we don't tell our story ourselves the right way, nobody will tell it for us. Or those that will tell it the wrong way and not be accurate with it. You know, now that you said the youths are really getting involved, let's take a very good look at Shango Festival. Shango Festival, apologies. Let's take also a good look at the Wode Egungun Festival that was recently concluded in Oyo State. The kind of people that you find there seems to be very deep locals. They are locals who are so deep into tradition and this spiritual movement, so to say. Some of the youths of nowadays, when I say youth of nowadays, the Gen Zs of nowadays, would not want to associate with things like that. We see the way the beautiful dresses that came out of the pictures that came out of those locations, but really getting involved, serving and worshiping. How much of youths do you find in this place?
I think that when we talk about how much youth we find in festivals,
youth participation,
like when we measure youth participation in festivals these days, I don't know, because you know you can't just pick out numbers from your head.
Yes,
but we attend these festivals and we see a lot of content creators flock the festival, and these content creators, they are youths. And they are the ones who take the content from from these festivals
To tell the
and then they
stories.
take it back to their fellow youths and say,
Mm.
"Oh, see, this is something beautiful that I have seen."
Mm.
These days, like I've said earlier, the youth participation in the past about our festivals. If you compare the present now to the past,
This
it
time is
is
still
really
better.
really incredible.
Mm.
We have more youths that are coming there because what they are coming for is they want to come and see spectacle
Mm.
beyond the spirituality of festivals these days. People want to come to a place where they are entertained, and our own culture, it is one that is filled with spirituality
richness.
and is very rich in entertainment.
Mm.
As you are seeing a masquerade that is showing you how to roll its clothes in a way that you have never seen before.
Or those that they are using fire to rub
Yeah,
its
you are
body.
you are seeing a Shango devotee putting fire down his or her own throat.
Mm.
You will never see anything like that anywhere.
Things that
this,
can happen.
Exactly, than this terrain that we are on.
Mm.
So when people see things like this on social media, the next thing they want to do is they want to come and experience it
They want to.
by themselves.
Mm.
So we're having more youths coming into the scene to say, oh, this thing is our thing. We need to support it. Oh, I am proud to be Yoruba. If not any other thing, for the spectacle, for the beauty of this hairstyle, for the colorful attires that I see on everyone here, it is something of joy. There's a debate that has been going on social media that, we no longer see Iru and Buba again. And there was a program that was hosted, I think, some 2 weeks ago in Lagos. A lot of the young Gen Zs at that program, they were rocking Iru and Buba.
Iran Buba. Wow.
We have a project too that I would not want to mention because I didn't pay for airtime. We have a project where we encourage more youth to be part
Of this.
of it because it promotes our cultural heritage, and we tell them, oh, we encourage every one of them. When you are coming, you dress like a very cultural person.
You put on your Iran Buba. You put
Yeah,
on your.
let me see you in that sonyo. Let me see you in agbada. Let me see you in everything that depicts that, yes, you are for the culture.
Great. So let me come in from this angle. So there's a level of spiritualism that comes into this as well. And we see how well a lot of Nigerians leave our space to go for Hajj and Umrah. Now they pay about 10 million naira for Hajj. We see how Christians leave Nigeria to go to Jerusalem, go to Israel, go to Jordan for pilgrimage. This is our own traditional pilgrimage that should really be encouraged. And it looks more like when we look at some other countries, they've embraced it more and they're making more from it. Talking about countries like Brazil, talking about some of these countries that you have a lot of Yorubas in there. Yes, we are coming up now. And I don't know, the extent of spiritualism that comes with it and how much or how well we are really promoting it. A very big kudos to the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun. With there's several festivals. We've had Wode Gugun Festival now. We've had this Ibadan Central Council have also organized. The Central Council of Ibadan Indigenous has also organized a cultural festival, and quite a lot. But still coming down to how much of Nigerians go outside, go for pilgrimage, for Christian, Muslim pilgrimage. We are not seeing much of these foreigners also coming into Oyo State, coming into these several states. I was happy when I saw the crowd during the coronation of the Alaafin of Oyo State, Alaafin of Oyo. You had a lot of foreigners coming in. This is what the Gugun Festival. I learned recently that we also had few foreigners from Benin Republic. But compared to this, what more do you think can really be done to promote our own traditional spiritualism? Yeah.
These days, I'm going to say that everything boils down to storytelling. It is always in the way you put the story, and also which or what platforms are we using to tell our stories. Because the channels that the stories go through, that's where people discover them from.
And they get to come.
And when I talk about storytelling for festival, it is not something that you take with levity. You take it seriously. You see the storytelling department of a festival, whether it's a festival organized by government or an individual entity, the storytelling aspect of that festival, you must take it seriously. Like that part where you take, like the event planning part of it.
Part of it.
You can't invest so much into event planning, and you say, "Shebi na photo."
Ẹja kò gba anybody.
Make them run am na. Shebi na video. Oya, just mix it up anyhow. It is serious work. Now that we know that we have what to sell to people, we need to shape how we present it to the global stage. Because you want a global audience to come and see what you're doing. But how do you present it to them? If I see these days, a lot of us are on the phone, and there are about 200 videos that you come across a day. The one that strikes you there
is the one
with very good quality. That is well captured, well presented.
Yeah, so now looking at it beyond just seeing, you've done the storytelling. These individuals, this storytelling is to encourage them to come. We see a lot of videos about Christian locations where Jesus Christ was buried, where the first marriage and all of that. People see these and they are motivated to go to Israel. People see people in Masjid Nabawi, Ibitatile Okwashetani, and all of these, and they are motivated to go. But we are not having that influx, perhaps due to visa policy, perhaps due to government role, insecurity, and that is part of the reason why I'm saying beyond storytelling. What else? We
have a lot of work to do. Now,
have you had, during the period you organized, have you had people planning to come into Nigeria and they couldn't come to experience some of these locations?
I have had people wanting to come to Nigeria and they came. I've never had a challenge with people trying to come because I always do my own assignment properly.
So people that are listening for the first time and they want to know what to do, how do we go about it? Seeing that they come for these festivals, coming for tours.
That's why you have project managers, you have project planners, you have people that ensure that everything is safe. They calculate the risk management of your project. Where are you going to? And these are all the things that you sum up together, and then you present to whoever is coming to experience your project. But you see, like we said earlier, we said that this is a Renaissance period. This is a Renaissance period. We are just waking up and telling our stories. And if we say that we are not having an influx of people like other people who go to other countries, it took the ones that you are talking about many years to arrive at where they are. I
need 60-something years.
No, you can't put independence of Nigeria with the tourism level and acceptance of our culture. We had a lot of setback as people because number one, some of us we were even doing our Ansirawa. It's not about Ansirawa. It was not like it's not like maybe we are entering each other's house and doing ourselves, but it's about the way we have been shaping the narratives. You see in some movies sometimes, you see the way they portray some of our own culture. It looks like dark art. And there is
recently you have a lot of movies talking about showcasing
you see all those movies. They are helping us to sell our culture to the world because the kind of platforms that they put those movies on, you're watching movies on Prime, you're watching them on the other
Netflix.
On Netflix and all of that, and that's a global platform. And an audience that has never been in Nigeria before may find festivals through these movies. And then reach out and want to be a part of a festival like that. We are converting more people to come and see the culture, to come and be part of the culture. And it didn't even start today. Adunio Lorisha, who was the matron and in fact the mother at the Osun Osogbo Groove, is not a Yoruba person by birth.
I think even the woman promoting the partnership with the Oyo State, they recently concluded what the Gungu Festival. The woman, is also not a Yoruba.
And which shows you that we are doing something right. With that, more people are always going to come here. They are going to come in here. They are going to come in large numbers. What I am going to just say is that we should not relent. We shouldn't relent on our laurels. There is still more work to do. Every day we get to explore what we have done so far. We move back a bit and we try to evaluate our performance. What do we do better next?
So let's look at it from the government angle. And I know it's been a lot for us as individuals, the government, and also the government. In Oyo State today, we have the National Museum, where some of our cultural heritage are stored, and people can really go to visit. Till today, what we have there, yes, some years back, we have masquerades, we have coin, uweyo, and some of the olden days ancient related things that are related to the ancient landmarks in these locations. When do we get to that stage of digital transformation in this space? Why do I necessarily need to visit physically a museum there before I get to see these things? If you enter the National Museum also, I'm talking about the one at Aleshinlo, if you visit, at times you get in there and you still find some of these things, quite archaic, but the level of development that is supposed to come to that place, you might get there and they might probably not be light. You might get there except until they put on generator. The level of support that place is supposed to receive, the level of digital transformation is also supposed to experience. Foreigners will come and you start explaining to them that, oh, this is masquerades. Some of them are not even dated.
Now, this is it.
And this is a federal establishment.
We are in a digital age. What I am going to say is that the establishments need to catch up.
And this is what government needs to do.
The government need to catch up. If probably they do not have think tank on the team that knows how to go about transforming to digital media, or how to harness digital media to promote tourism, they should engage the service of experts who know about it. If you go to the Kigali Genocide Memorial in Rwanda,
people are just going to see dead burial grounds, and we are paying a lot.
It's not even just about burial ground, but there is a lot of stories attached to that burial ground. But you know, when you get there, they present you your own headset.
Yes.
That instead of going about with a tour guide, you are going to wear an headset, hold like probably a player in your hand, and for each point that you get to, you just all you have to do is just press a button, and they tell you what is happening in that surrounding. You get it, which means that part of the world they are harnessing the power of both hybrid and digital. There is nothing stopping us from creating a virtual museum out of the museum
where people at home from their comfort can visit, and they pay a token online and they get to explore.
Yes. Which is very possible. Our virtual tour it's possible on even their website. Just develop it and tell you, take a virtual tour.
And from there they get to explore.
They make money. They make money into the pocket of this museum,
and everyone is happy.
Definitely.
All right. I've been speaking with Ayo Adams on the program today, talking about culture and cultural heritage and festival. Let's come, as we bring the program to a close, let's come briefly back to you. I see your videos and I see quite a number of things that you do, giving out money to people for saying, call your family members, tell them I love you, and bringing the level of excitement to what people are, making people happy, and you feel the pulse of the people. I think I must say you've been doing very well, making people aware. I know at times I see you say people should sing a particular song and all of that, just to really promote social well-being. But I'll put you on the spot. Let's do a bit of vox pop. If I'm to ask you, jollof rice or amala?
Jollof rice.
Jollof rice. Why would you do jollof rice over amala? I'm surprised.
Because I think that it's just something that I'll just prefer.
Hip hop or Fuji?
Both.
Both. No, you have to stick to one now.
Hip hop.
Hip hop. I'm surprised you're saying this, because I think you're truly a traditional man, a cultural man to the core.
Yeah, I'm a traditional man, but you know, these days you have to catch up with what people are doing in this world. That I pick hip hop above Fuji does not mean that, oh, I'm still no longer a traditional man. Yeah, but I need to know what is happening in this world.
Okay. So you've been to quite a lot of festivals, captured moments. Ojude Oba, Osun Osogbo, Wode Gogo Festival. Which is your favorite among all of these?
I don't have any.
You don't have any.
No
What were
favorite.
you looking for that you didn't find?
I just do not want to have any favorite.
All right, thank you very much, Ayo Adams, for coming to the studio. You have a final word for youth out there who is also looking at